Welcome, restoration professionals, to Restoration Minutes, your source for industry information and education. Be sure to like and rate us if you enjoy the content we provide.
All right, welcome in to a new episode of Restoration Minutes. Today we have Ken Bazar with us from Proklean Services. Proklean, if you guys do not know about their products, I've been using it back when it had its old name, Procure. In case some of you are still not up to speed on the name change this past year. Me and Ken met, I would say it is about 8 years ago now, Ken, I think something like that.
8 or 9, yeah, 8 or
Yeah, 8 or
9.
9 years ago. I think it was at an RIA or PLRB event, one of those things. And I talked to Ken a lot about his product. It was some new technology and stuff, about what Procure at that time, but it's now Proklean, what all it was good for. And I went back home and I ran the commercial division for a company, and we had gotten a call from one of our clients that ran it was a high-rise assisted living facility. This guy had passed away, but kept his back door open, so it kind of kept his apartment aired out, and no one knew until maggots were starting to come in on both sides. Not to get gross for any of you, but needless to say, we did everything that we could to try to clean this place and remove everything that we could, and the odor was still there. And so I finally gave up, and I called Ken. I was like, man, I need your help. I think your product can help me. And Ken sent me some product, and smelled like spring rain the next day. I was shocked. The client was shocked, because I told him the next step was we're going to have to tear out all the floor. We're going to have to tear out the cabinets. We're going to have to clean the HVAC system. So this, $3,000 to $5,000, type of project just jumped to 15 to 20, kind of a thing. And so I'm going to let Ken tell us a little bit about the product, and we'll just kind of take it from there.
Well, first thing, Mike, I appreciate the invite to this forum. I think it's great what you're doing, what Helusco is backing, and what everything, the event that we went to, by the way, just was spectacular and well done. And, I've already commended you more than once, privately, but the first opportunity, this is the first opportunity that I've had to do it publicly. So,
Well, I'm going to be sending you an invite for our next one while you're bringing up our event. The next one is going to be February 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Okay.
It's going to be a huge...
We're in. Yeah, there's no question we're in. I mean, it was good. I think, by that time it should be even more expanded on the guest list and, things like that. So we're excited about being a part and having a strategic partnership with you.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, now, just so you're a little fuzzy on the camera, so I don't know if that's going to be coming across.
Yeah, you're clear and I'm clear, so.
Okay, all right.
At least on my end.
The link, yeah.
And I can edit that out.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, well, again, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I mean, Proklean Services, we really do a lot of different things. I mean, as a company, we're a major chemical manufacturing company. In your world, we just happen to cross paths on our deodorization and disinfection realm.
Yep.
I mean, the company itself, we have 17 acres under roof. We put liquid in a bottle.
Montgomery, Alabama, right?
Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama is where our main company is.
Close to where I was born, in Auburn.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, manufacturing plants there. I mean, obviously, if anybody wants to ever go see it, we would love to do that. Love taking people through. But the process that you and I met on is our Proklean, formerly Procure. January 1, it'll be officially completely transferred over to the Proklean system. So the Procure name is going away. We're excited about that. I mean, it's nothing's changing on the manufacturing side. It's all EPA labeling, which is its own animal.
Yeah, and COVID made it even worse. It seems like, that's for sure. COVID seemed to bring a lot of new rules into play.
It is. I mean, we're heavily regulated on that side of the world, which we're okay with. I mean, we obviously we do what we have to do, but we have a series of chemicals that we use in our world, and I use our world in the restoration and deodorization and disinfection world. So we have an EPA registered liquid and gas chlorine dioxide solution, aqueous solution, which is a high-level antimicrobial, hospital-grade and tuberculocidal disinfectant. And then we have our deodorization line, which is what we call our DL line, which is a non-EPA registered, same chemical compound, just a different label. It's non-EPA registered, which just gives us the opportunity. When we were doing all this, we said, you know what, how can we really help the contractor? And the non-EPA registered product is a lower price point. So it gives the contractor the ability to do and deodorize pretty much anything. I don't think in the time that I've spent with this chemical over the years, I haven't failed once.
Yeah, and the non-label is really helpful for any contractors that are listening. I know for a fact of in the state of Tennessee, because I used to operate out of that state. A contractor cannot, if they don't have a pesticide license and a pest applicator license at their location in the state of Tennessee, they can't spray even a can of Lysol because there's an EPA label in a homeowner's home as a contractor. So having the non-EPA label is definitely helpful for any of those states that have that same similar issue.
Yeah, I mean, and on the reverse side, if you have to make a kill claim, for air quality or for pathogen control, we have that ability too. You know,
Yep.
I mean, it's as you've learned, and I think other contractors have learned, the uniqueness of our product system of Proklean system is the ability to cross over into many different venues, many different areas. I mean, we deal with hospitality, we deal with multifamily, we deal with restoration, sports world, government. I mean, it really does have a tremendous crossover. And what separates us is the science. And we don't have to necessarily dig into it today because we can spend the whole time on the science, but the science of what we do really determines and makes the difference on the deodorization and the pathogen control. So and I always joke with people, but you can't fight science. I mean, science is exact and it gives us the ability to do things quickly. I mean, we'll probably talk a little bit about it as we go, but we just did a project in 10.5 million cubic feet deodorized
Yeah,
after
I
a
was
major
actually
fire.
going to bring that up because they also use the Helix Co software that contractor does, and it was amazing watching you guys sit down and just open up all the freaking packs and build the systems that you built custom just for that job. And you were able to kind of come in and, I got to hear stories from the contractor and then some back from you on the end of things on how you guys actually kind of got intricately involved in the selling of that process to the client and convincing them to, let you guys do this thing. And the guarantees pretty much that you made, and which is also unheard of in our industry. And, I have definitely have been a user ever since, that one incident I was telling about at the beginning of the program. And, I like in a lot of projects, especially for deodorization, I like using the combination of the liquid, especially for like an initial knockdown of things and then gassing and walking away if it's if it's an odor type of issue, but I've also had success just doing just the gas. It depends on what you're dealing with. I've gotten
Yeah.
I've gotten the cumin smell out of apartments. I've gotten cigarette smoke out of HVAC units just by gassing houses and running the systems. I mean, the product is amazing. And in places where I thought people were going to have to do tear outs and remove stuff, all of a sudden we've come in with this product. And yeah, it's not cheap on a large scale, but it's definitely cheaper than the alternative by like 100%.
Well, and realistically, I mean, I think the difference between us and the industry, the initial look at our product is people always look at the pricing side of it, but what you don't look at is the ability to deodorize a building in under 36 hours, right? I mean,
Yep.
traditional methods, you're taking time on business interruption, you're taking time on machinery and all this other things that go on. When you factor what we can do in the time frame that we can do it, it's really way less than what people are spending on projects. And as you know, in the world that you're dealing directly with, is the carriers now want speed.
Yeah, because now, especially on the commercial side, it's the loss of use. I mean, let's face it. I know that client I think was losing somewhere close to $1 million a day in revenue if they had to close, and they did not want to close. And you offered a solution, and they were all over it because all the other option was running, air scrubbers and pre-cleaning and carbon filters for days on end, and then still no success.
The thing about that project, which makes it unique, is number one is they had inventory that they wanted us to deodorize, right? Clothing. And number two is they wanted to be able to function in that building while we were doing the cleanup. So, uniquely with our system, traditionally in our world, you clear out a building, right? You can go in, you can take all your manpower, you can go in and hammer the building. Well, they had every day they had people in the building. So we were able to treat while, occupied space and be able to deodorize while they were there and then schedule a time to do one night. And we deodorized 10.5 million cubic feet in 12 hours.
That's
And
crazy.
you just can't do that with traditional methods. So, so the amount of money that we save them in the long run, obviously, is why they decided we did that. Now, part what's unique about Proklean services is the team that we have is always available for consultation, right? So a lot of chemical companies will sell you a product and then they hope you figure it out. They
Yeah,
just
because I
do.
know in this case, the contractor, did not have your, I forgot, the Rhino, is that what it's called?
Correct. Yeah, that's right here behind
Yeah,
us.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I didn't wanna mess up the name there, but I remember it used to be the Rhino, so I wasn't sure it's still that. I don't think they had any of the Rhinos. The amount of volume of packs that it was going to take. They probably didn't have that on hand. So they called you, you hopped straight in your truck, drove down, helped consult with the client, helped consult with the adjuster and the consultants that were on site and the contractor. And you really helped pull that part of the project together for them. I mean, they
Yeah,
love you
I mean,
for it. I know they were already fans because I actually used to work for that contractor years ago. And so they've been using you ever since I used to work there. And that whole team now is definitely 100%, Proclaim fans. That's for sure going forward.
yeah. Well, and again, that's the commitment that we make to our clients. I mean, Jason, we I made a phone call to him because I was down on site and said we need this amount of product, and he loaded up the truck and drove it down twice, actually.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Jason Gillis is one of the owners of the company, and I'll probably get him on a podcast here at some point, especially since he is just down the road from me in Ohio, and his kids actually go to college here about across the street from where my office is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Robin Minocchio and Jason Gillis are the principal owners of Proclean, and their commitment to being able to put a system together is unmatched. I mean, it's exciting to be a part of that group and part of that system because it gives me the freedom to be able to consult, and not be worried about whether or not we can perform. I'm an ex hockey player, so for me, everything that we can do that is about team is really what gets me excited about Proclean.
Yeah,
And then on the other
and
end,
that's a whole, like you said, that's a whole nother level, that you guys offer that most people in that world don't, you know. There's and when it comes to deodorization, there's some science to that a lot of people just don't get. And so a lot of contractors, because they were either with some of these big franchise groups or they've just gone through some old training like I did 20 years ago, really it's removal through cleaning or demo and the old school stuff, or you're talking about odor masking with all these stupid products that used to be out there like the Vapor Shark and things like that. Not to beat up on anybody, but Vapor Shark was one of the first deodorization things I always had, and it smelled great while everybody was there, and for like the next 12 hours, then it always came back. Whereas Proklean's product actually goes in it, and I'll let Ken explain a lot more, but basically it breaks down at the molecular level.
yeah, I mean, and that's
It's
really
amazing.
that's what getting back to what I said earlier. That's the science, right? I mean, what makes us unique when you compare us to hydroxyl, you compare us to ozone, because that's the two that people use in most frequently when it comes to odor, right?
Yep.
What's unique with us is how long
Or
our
thermal
molecule.
fogging. I'm not sure if you remember those old dragons that would
Yeah,
burn
yeah.
people's houses up because if you tilted it the wrong way, that kerosene-based deodorizer would spill onto people's floors. I can't tell you how many people's carpet and hardwood floors we replaced early in my career
That was like handing contractors a flamethrower with a scent.
who are already guys that enjoy that kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean it's unique in the respect of how we approach the science side of it. You try not to dig into too deep, but when our molecule, when you produce the molecule that we produce, the chlorine dioxide molecule, in the right environment lasts 12 hours. So it's a continuous deodorization process during, in minimized light. When you compare it to ozone, which is about 20 minutes, the molecule lasts, and hydroxyl is 9 seconds. Like, that's why, that's what it just separates us, right?
Yep.
Now, what also separates us is the, the ability to do both liquid and gas. I joke around. I say, like, the liquid product is kind of like an Uber driver to the organics, right? It takes our chemical to break down any organics, and it breaks it down on, like you said, on a cellular level. So it's not coming back. It's not a masking agent, right? It's going to eradicate it. I just got off the phone right before we hopped on with a client that had a skunk, his personal house, and his wife opened the door, dog ran in, skunked the house, So he asked me what we could do. We told him liquid and gas. He did the liquid process, calling me back. He goes, "I don't even think I need to do the gas. I'm going to do it later on tonight." But within 5 minutes, the odor's gone because it breaks down the mercaptan. And for
Man,
the
I would have
science
taken a
geeks,
bath in that stuff 20 years ago. We had my dogs cornered one in the backyard, a skunk, and I was trying to chase it off. And I don't know if this thing was just like a ninja skunk or what, but it turned around and took off after me, jumped up in the air, and it got me 3 times before I made it back in the house. I mean, I tried the old tomato juice, and tea
yeah,
tree oil helped a little bit. That's what I ended up using because I used to own a chain of nutrition stores. And,
sure.
but still, I could not get rid. It took 2 to 3 days of heavy scrubbing and showering and soaking in baths of crap to finally get the odor off. I really wish I'd had Procure back in those days. I would have taken a shower.
Proklean.
Excuse me, Proklean, Proklean.
Yeah, no, you're right. See, our chemical breaks down the mercaptan, which is that skunk odor, and it's all about just moving electrons. I mean, it's not there's not any deep science to it. It's something that we just champion. And what I love about the industry is, that aha moment when people
Get it?
because we have a lot of contractors that are they're so ingrained and used to doing what they were doing for years, right? So
Yeah,
when
or
they
what they were taught, same
sure,
thing, and it all comes down to education, and then sometimes even education don't get it through their heads. They have to actually give it a shot and experience it,
right,
or talk to
right.
someone that they trust in the industry. So I know I've turned a lot of people onto you guys over the years because I learned to be a true believer in a job that I thought I was going to lose a client that sent us almost $1 million worth of work a year over this project because I thought I had a good estimate. And now I was about to blow it out of the water because we couldn't achieve what I promised, and I'm a under promise over deliver kind of guy. And so I was fortunate, to get your product in there, and they were shocked themselves by the progress it made just overnight. It was amazing.
And let's not forget, I mean, we talk obviously, the projects that we've done, and you guys have used it for the during COVID. I mean, we do have the antimicrobial side too, which a lot of listen, there's a lot of antimicrobials on the market, and they're all EPA registered, and they're all good, and but when you take a look at what you can do on the pathogen side with our product, when using the what's going to be January 1st will be totally Proklean L.
Okay.
Uh, for our liquid, and then our gas EPA registered, because we're the only EPA registered gas product right now in the industry.
Are you still going to have with the change of name and everything? Are you still going to have the food safety rating they used to
Yes,
have?
yeah. So
Okay, cool.
everything carries through. That's a huge thing. We're NSF D2 rated, which means you food contact surface with no freshwater rinse. And our antimicrobial side at 100 ppm, which is what we produce it at, there's no PPE needed. It can be occupied space. It's anywhere from tuberculosis to, we got 39 different pathogens.
Yeah.
And what's great about it, the thing about this is we have a packet that makes 25 gallons where you can generate it for under $4 a gallon.
Yeah, and that's the big thing a lot of guys don't get is, it is basically pennies, like less than a quarter a gallon when you make it up. I think it's like 15 to 18 cents, depending on what day of the week it is. I know you guys are actually running a special right now, so it's a little bit cheaper than that. One of the things that was hard for us to educate, as restorers, during COVID is we started getting a lot of competition, from even pest control companies that were going out and using quat type products, quaternary products. these were skin contact surfaces and food contact surfaces in cafeterias and, ports of service. I don't want to say that name and get sued. The big port that I worked on, and it's one of those things that it's like it's you're clean and you're done with your product. I can go in there and put my sandwich on it. Matter of fact, I know that there's a mushroom manufacturer, just as one I know off the top of my head, that has used your product for years, but to spray down their products before they package it up to send it out. It's it's crazy that people
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
understand that.
on our label, if you dilute our product to, you can on our EPA registration, we're actually have a dilution ratio down to it being a non-rinsed vegetable wash.
Yeah.
I mean, we're canine, equine. If you're dealing with any type of animal, I mean, there's so many. One of the things that we love to do, and you mentioned it earlier, which I think is probably one of the biggest.
In a world where there are a lot of false promises, Helixco has delivered the most advanced time and material project management and billing platform available. Check them out today at helixco.io.
Biggest things I've seen change in the industry recently over the years is there's a lot more of these regional education meetings, right?
Yep.
People are doing, and I think education is the key. We are definitely a product that a lot of people they might have heard of, they don't necessarily know of, but when they're educated and when we have time and we do that, we do webinars, we train your technicians, we'll answer your questions. We're really only a phone call away. People really get it. That's what I love is that aha moment, right? They go, holy smokes, not only does it work, but it does everything that has been claimed and more. So,
Yeah, because earlier in the year, me and you did a class together when I was at my previous place, and we had people basically come in, and you brought skunk oil down,
yeah,
and then had one of my guys that smoke go sit in a room and smoke a pack,
I never seen
and
anybody so happy. I never seen anybody
yeah.
so happy. You just give them in a room with a pack of
But,
cigarettes.
but Jason, if you're listening, we're talking about you, man.
We love you, brother. We love you.
People were amazed, that how quick it got rid of those two things in those two rooms. And like you said, the aha moment, those people were sold from that point on for sure.
This has been a blessing to have that, the relationships that we built, I think is really what solidifies this. I know you had Javier on last week and I watched that and just being able to grow the business along with people that that you like and you care about, I think is also what this industry brings, I mean, and I think, like I said, what you guys are doing is exciting to watch, and the fact that we could be a small part of it is really exciting, Now we
Yeah.
hope obviously that we can help more contractors do more work faster, sooner, cheaper. And I don't say cheaper in the respect of what they can. You still have to do. Nothing changes. We're not a magic pill.
Yeah.
So there's still source removal. There's still cleanup. There's still all of those things happen, both in antimicrobial and in deodorization. It's just we're added value. We're enhancement to that system to be able to do it and complete it and not get called back. And there's a terminology, that we use all the time called throughput, where if you're completing work faster, sooner, and better, who are they going to turn to? They're going to turn to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen this industry, like I said, I know there's guys been doing it a lot longer than me out there. I've been doing it right at 19 years, fell into this like most of us by accident. But I've seen this industry evolve from when I first got started, it was all, about in place drying and trying to do this. And then the TPAs and the quicker turnaround of jobs evolved everybody to let's get in, let's tear everything out as quick as we can. That way we can dry the sill plates and put everything back together. And now, especially in the commercial side, but even a lot of the residential side, it's kind of curving back down to where it's get in and get out and save as much as you can kind of a thing, and especially on the commercial side, it's all about, loss of use. I did a client and if we used your guys' product on, I didn't have to call you guys in during the hurricane that was losing $1 million a day, similar to what this contractor was just experiencing with this industrial thing. And, those type of clients, want expediency, and
Yeah.
obviously they want their job done right. But the more they don't want to be tied up for 6 months with reconstruction unless it's absolutely necessary. So, and I know on this project that you guys just finished up, I think it was what, North Carolina, right? With that
Yeah.
contractor, you know, they ship sporting goods without getting into disclosing too much information, but they ship sporting goods all over the country, all over the world. I mean, they do major like high schools, colleges, pro athletes, individuals. I mean, these guys are serious business, and their warehouse. How big was the entire warehouse, Ken? Do you remember?
Well, the whole cubic footage was 10.5 million cubic feet.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
the warehouse was gigantic. I mean,
yeah, it was.
what
I think it was like 50 or 60,000 square feet or something like that, and had multiple levels, had conveyors. I've seen pictures and all kinds of crazy stuff in it, and those guys were adamant that they couldn't shut down. They couldn't shut down during the duct cleaning process. They couldn't shut down during anything. All work has got to be done like during after hours and things like, or while they're, or section off
well,
some
they
areas that
ran
it's not.
24. They ran 24/7. There was no after hours. That
Yeah.
was the thing with them, right? They ran 24/7, 3 shifts. And I mean, I'll tell you what I did learn when sitting in on those high level meetings with the owners of the company, the carrier, the adjuster, and then the contractor. These people were very motivated to not to not close down, right? And the contractor did an awesome job because what they were able to do is we have a light deodor, our product, we have a DL line that's a light deodorizer that can be in sprayed and occupied space. So what they did is they sprayed every day while people were still functioning for about 4 or 5 days, and then we scheduled time to do the one gas unit where we actually got them to shut down for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So it would, now, and this is what I think is important too is, listen, you can pick up an IICRC manual, you can pick up manuals on deodorization, disinfection. Every game plan, every battle plan changes after the first shot's fired.
Yeah.
Right. So, being on site with that, we had to switch things around a couple different ways and recalculate and redo things. And what we traditionally would use in that space, we actually had to almost double it because they wanted us to deodorize the contents
Yep.
along with it. So, and we
Shoes,
were able to do
shirts,
that.
pants, all that kind of stuff that they had.
It was wild. I mean, it was wild. And then on the back end, our liquid and gas product, we eradicate all VOCs. Right. So being able to go in after a fire damage, and we did a VOC test with an IH that was there, a pass with flying colors, and deodorization test. So I mean, just having that tool, and I call it a silver bullet. I mean, I think that's what Proklean Services really is your silver bullet. And your daily. What's great is the confidence that you can build by using our system. Because if you talk to that contractor now, which we're all friends with, right? If the project ever comes up that's anything like that, there's not even a question whether or not he knows he can do it.
Well, that and that client, who had never heard of that contractor before, I got referred to him. You guarantee I know who they're calling if they ever have something weird happen again.
Well, I'll tell
And,
you what
and
was
so
funny.
you build a fan base off of that kind of work, because of the way you're able to quickly turn around and save them the shutdown time. They're not calling somebody else next time. They've already been through it with you guys. They know how it works, and they know that they were able to achieve what they promised, and that's so you guys are helping sell.
It was funny. We were sitting in a meeting, and just by happenstance, one of the owners of the company was talking to an employee, and the employee was out on the road with the owner in his van. And he's like, "Your van smells so bad." He's like, he goes, "From the day you bought it, you've had this horrible odor in it." So when the meeting broke, I pulled him aside and I said, "Hey, listen," I said, "I bet you I can get rid of that odor for you." And I wound up deodorizing the guy's van before we even did the main project. And he was within overnight. We completely eradicated all the odor in the van. And to this day, he'll text me and say, it still doesn't, it's unbelievable. He's just blown away. So, it's fun to have a tool that we have this much confidence in, and it's not cockiness. I mean, if you talk to somebody in our organization, we just have all had those aha moments when
Yeah.
whether it's sports teams or whether it's field turf or locker rooms or hospitality or a multifamily. We've all had, dog runs. I mean, we just unbelievable. Now, every building for contractors, every building right now is cannabis and dog friendly. I mean,
Yep.
if you're slow out there, there's tons of people that are looking for deodorization projects on those types of facilities.
Yeah, and are you allowed to mention any of the sport teams or anything like that that you guys take care of?
But yeah, I mean, we have about, I don't know, we have a plethora of teams, but one of our largest clients, which is Ohio State University.
Yep.
I mean, they have it. They use it in every locker room. They use our our DEG, which is our extended release. We actually had specially made Ohio State. Everything's got to look Ohio State, right?
Oh,
That's one
yeah.
thing I give credit for.
Well, things gonna be red and black.
Right, right. But they had these lucite things made that are holders for the DEG. When the DEG looks like this, right? It's a clamshell.
Yeah.
And so they had them to hold that in there, and they use them in every locker room. Every 30 days, they change them out because it can be occupied space, and it slowly releases a little bit of CO2 below the Pell limit. So it
Yep.
keeps the locker rooms fresh.
I used to keep one in my office, hanging up because we had taken over at a previous company. We had taken over a building that had a little funk in it. I don't, and until we got it, rehabbed, I mean, it just always had this lingering, musty kind
Yeah.
of odor, and it wasn't nothing fungal or anything like that that we could see. It's probably something that just soaked into the concrete from the previous tenants and everything else, but it kept the office tolerable and nice. One of the things that I also want to kind of get in with you guys is y'all have some new products that have come out, in the last year. I've gotten to demo some of them at my own house. I really like your solvent cleaners. The purple one especially. I mean, that thing, be careful with that one for sure. When you're out there using it, because there's a light and there's a strong one, and I use the strong
Yeah.
one. And man, I've used it like on my exterior of my house.
Right.
I mean, it gets rid of the bugs, like melts cobwebs. I mean, it's been amazing.
Yeah. I mean, what was funny is for years, we've always manufactured these things, at our manufacturing plants, but we never really put them into the system. And then we were sitting around talking one day, and I said, Robin said to me, she's like, why don't we bring these degreasers back, within our system? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, we're telling people to degrease, right? If you're getting a cigarette smokehouse, you gotta remove source before you do any type of deodorization, right?
Yeah.
So we have our what's called our Proklean Elite line. So we have our Power Purple, which is it's a higher pH. It's designed for those, for the heavy fires, and like you said, I mean, it's aggressive. There's no question about it, but it's very good. We have our Power Orange, which is a citrus base. That's more for your aldehydes. It breaks down your nicotines, and that's a mid-level pH. All concentrates. I think the Power Purple makes 36 gallons. The Power Orange 26 gallons. We have your simple green type neutral cleaner, and then which one is really good is our Power Stain Remover. And
I don't think I've
it's
used that one yet.
I'll tell you what, what's great about it is it's a buffered stain remover, which means that you can actually use it on some fabrics. I've used it on outdoor furniture fabrics, and it doesn't destroy them. It doesn't degrade them.
Oh, wow.
We do a lot on the manufacturing side. We do a lot in the luxury boat world. So we brought that in from the luxury boat world because they use that for a lot of the teak and a lot of the, a
Hmm.
lot of the deck work. And it's been a great transition. It's been a great thing. It's
What
really
brand does that
becoming.
stuff run under on the boat side of things? I'm sure it's a different name brand or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's under West Marine carries.
Okay.
We do all the manufacturing for West Marine.
Oh, okay. All right. Yep. I used to shop,
So and
especially,
see, that's
because
the
I
other thing
come from
people don't
Florida.
realize is we do anything. We do anywhere from two-stroke oil to, if you buy antifreeze from Walmart, you're getting it from our mother company.
Really? Wow. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah. So and the other thing is we blow all our own bottles down at the manufacturing plant. We do a lot of white labeling too, Mike. I mean, so private labeling for companies and we're willing to do that in the restoration space. There's a lot of franchise groups that like to have
Yep.
their own brand,
Okay.
That's an ability we have. If there's an interest, man, reach out to Jason, Robin, or myself, and we can definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it,
I'll definitely know that there's some guys that are interested in that. Because there are a lot of guys, because especially with your commercial clients, your residential, you're in and you're out, but your commercial clients, you're there all the time. And if they see that you're using something that they can go get off the shelf or that they can order online, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, well, then we'll do it ourselves. So that's kind of one thing
Right.
that you kind of use as a thing to kind of set your company aside, is if you have things that are kind of off labeled or private labeled, even if you're coming up with your own type of product, kind of a thing, but to have a different label on it. That way, it's not something that XYZ product that they use is such a good job, and they'll go online and they can't find it because it's your label. So
Yeah.
there's definitely some benefit to that for sure.
I mean, like we do things like, I have a cup in front of me here. This happens to be Service Master on this cup, but we can co-brand, some of the things. So people, because people are all about branding, and it's okay. We love it. We love it. If the volume's there, if the right situation falls, we could definitely co-brand a lot of things. Even on the deodorization side, we've had conversations to do that. I mean, again, what makes us unique is we're part of a major company, but we're nimble, right? So
Yeah.
we can make adjustments as needed on the Proklean services side. I mean, it's definitely it's exciting. I mean, it's definitely exciting.
All right. Well, Ken, I definitely appreciate your time here today. Looking forward to seeing you again. If I don't see you before February, hopefully we can kind of get together. I'm sure we'll see at some events or something. But then trade show season starts in January, or really, there's a couple scattered in January, February. It's the reason we pushed this big class that we're going to be doing in February,
Right.
to try not to conflict with any of the other crazy things that happen, especially March, April, May, June is it's crazy for our industry.
Sure.
And so I
There.
definitely appreciate your time, and anything else that you guys have out there when you launch your new products, obviously, just let me know. Anything that you guys roll out, I'll try to make sure the word gets out for you.
Well, again, Mike, I appreciate you and all your guys and gals at the Helix Co. Company. We really do we do value and try and really appreciate the partnership.
At Proklean Services, it is our vision to be recognized as a leader in the manufacturing and distribution of chemical solutions and air quality enhancement across collective channels. Our mission is to provide high-performance products, solutions, and services to our customers while continuing to add value to their industries, revolutionizing clean one day at a time. Visit us at procleanservices.com.
All right, still got Ken here. Just wanted to let him tell you a little bit more about their new calculator that they have on their website for when you're trying to estimate your project. So, Ken, if you would kind of elaborate on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's really a great tool. I mean, so if you head to Proklean Services, right at the top of the bar, you'll see at the top bar it says Job Calculator, and what we've done is we've got it into a situation, and I would suggest everybody log in and just take a look at it. But what it allows you to do is estimate on a project exactly how much liquid you need to generate and how many gas units you need to deploy. And what's unique about it is you can select several jobs. So on our EPA registered gas product, actually registered EPA registered to clean the air you breathe. So using our gas product for air quality testing has been a tremendous success. So, can't guarantee zeros, but we're getting really low spore counts. So on our job calculator, we have a section that's just for that. So that would be our gas units. We have a section for deodorization, which would factor in our liquid and gas, and then one for disinfection and one for fire and smoke. Each time you set up what you're going to do, it gives you the parameters. It shows you the products you're going to need. It then has a section where you can add as many rooms as you would like, and you could label those room kitchen, a bathroom, whatever it may be. And then what it'll do is it'll calculate exactly for you how much liquid you need to generate and how much gas. Now, what's awesome about the whole thing is that there's a section on there that says get instructions. So as soon as you click on get instructions, it actually breaks down for you exactly what to do using the Proklean system,
Nice.
room
Is
by
it
room.
from the parts per million on the mixture for the
It
the
just it
liquid
shows you
and all
you're
that
going to
kind of stuff
generate.
too?
Yeah, you're going to generate these many gallons. You're going to use these many packs for the kitchen. You're going to use this many packs for the bathroom. And then it gives you a breakdown. And what's great about it is you can copy it to your clipboard and you could email it to your technicians, or you can email it to adjusters, whatever you may be. There's no excuse to not know exactly what to do with the system.
No, cool.
It's just a tremendous tool, and I would highly suggest everybody take a look at it and play around with it a little bit on projects. I mean, it's
It
definitely
sounds like
something.
it's more involved now than the old one was that used to be on an app.
Yeah, we definitely expanded. We definitely, we're learning from Helix Co, right? You
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
you gotta evolve, right? You gotta
Oh,
keep
yeah.
growing.
Evolve or die, man. Evolve or die.
So yeah, it's definitely exciting. It'll be exciting for people to take a look at that. And again, that doesn't take away from if you need help, reach out. Don't fake your way through this. Let's be
Yeah, even guys, even if it's a small project, these guys are any other product out there without saying any names. You're not picking up the phone and talking to those guys. You're reading the label and trying to figure it out and talking to somebody else that's used it before. But with these guys, you can pick up the phone and you can get one of those three guys on the phone, or they're going to call you within minutes back to answer any questions. It don't matter if you're doing residential or a 10 million cubic foot building. I mean, they're going to be there to help you because it's all about education and making sure that they're building fans of their product because it works. And they also want to make sure that it's successful for you because of that reason as well. So never feel like you can't reach out to them. If you guys need Ken's cell phone number, just give me a shout and I'll get it to you. That's for sure. Or send us a show note and I'll make sure I get you the info you need.
look forward to talking to anybody. And again, Mike, look forward to getting back together. See you
All right.
soon.
Talk to you later. All right. Bye.
Thank you, sir.